Good afternoon, everybody. How are we? Are we good? I do hope so. Welcome to today's live. My name's Bev. I'm from Bee Crafty. And I thought what we might do today... Oh, that's my phone telling me that I'm live. That's nice, isn't it? Oh, no. It's a daughter talking about revision. That's fine. What we're going to do today is we're going to make some ATCs. So if that sounds like your sort of thing, stay in. But do you know something? Even if it doesn't, stay in anyway, because some of the techniques we're going to use, you could use for cards, art journals, scrapbook pages, anything like that. And they're going to be fast and fun. And yeah, basically just why not? Okay. So we're just going to hang on a couple of seconds. We're going to wait till Sam gets here because she can do some links for you. Hello, Shaz. I'm not in fairness, I'm not sure I'm talking to you. Sam got pictures of puppies last night. I got squat diddly. So you know, I'm not sure I'm talking to you. We'll revisit it later. All right, so like I say, what we're going to do today is we're going to be making some ATCs. Now, I've got my Doodle art butterfly set out, okay? But I've also got my small words because these work brilliant with ATCs. Okay, so we're going to do those. But what I've done ahead of time is I have actually cut some pieces out. Oh, I'm so sorry. Give me a second. So that's from a piece of book page, and that is the Doodle Art Blooming Blooms. This lovely little one here, I think comes from the Doodle Art Ladybird. I've literally just done it. Yes, it is the Doodle Art Ladybird. It's on that set there. And then we have this one here, which is the big flower on the Doodle Art Butterfly one, okay? So this is the thing, with your Doodle Arts, you will find that, you know, you get a real mix on there. You get borders, you get some little accessory stamps that are great for building and all that sort of thing. So you can have fun with them, which is great. So if there's anything in particular you'd like to see me do today, or any colours you'd like me to use, now's sort of the time because I'm about to pick my colours. Aside from that, we are going to crack on and just have some ATC fun because I haven't made any for a while. So I'm going to be working on my Bee Crafty blending mat. Okay, these are available in A3 and A4. And I've got, I say A3 and A4, they're not quite to measurement, but that's the closest standard sizing, okay? It's for an A4-ish and an A3-ish. They're slightly smaller, okay? Because, and I'll tell you for why. Because that slightly smaller size enables us to get more per sheet, which enables us to keep the cost down of your blending mats. Alrighty? Okay, so Sam has started putting links on for you there. If there is any others you want that you can't find, then you let her know because I'm going to be doing. All right. I think we want to go for some pretty jazzy colours in here. And I'm sort of liking the pinks and yellows that we've got going on our laminated backing card. If you haven't been lucky enough to treat yourself yet to some of the Bee Crafty stamps, okay? All of your Bee Crafty stamps come on a laminated backing card that is printed with a coloured backing, so you can use that as inspiration. Feel free to copy it exactly. That's not a problem at all. Just so you know, they don't come with these bits on. These are my sticky back masks that I use for when I'm collaging up my butterflies. So yours won't have those on, unless, of course, you add them yourself after. So I'm going to go for a picked raspberry, a fossilised amber, and then we need something just to throw in the mix, don't we? I'm possibly thinking speckled egg, just that little touch of maybe a blue to throw in there. I think will be quite nice. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do each of the colours individually. Now, I love to smush, okay? A distressed smush is just one of my favourite things to do crafty wise. And there's so many different ways to do it. But for now, for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do each colour individually. And it's that so I can effectively stack them. Okay? So I'm going to leave this one to last because I only want this to be a little hint. Okay? And these two are going to be the main focus. But I want to do them separately because I don't want to get orange. I want the picked raspberry. And I want the fossilised amber. I don't want the orange. Okay. Now, fun fact, fossilised amber is actually the reason we stock Distress Oxide. When Distress Oxide was first launched, I wanted to make sure it wasn't just another, you know, Ranger knows we like to collect. They're trying to make us collect more things, sort of a thing. So I bought some myself. And I bought Fossilised Amber. And it's a fantastic colour. It actually does have some pinky hues to it as well. So I'll put that on my blending mat. We're going to give that a spritz with a mini mister because I want it quite fine. And then we're going to get our card. And we're just going to dab that on. Now, again, if you haven't seen me before, I am, what's the word? I'm pretty free when it comes to which card I choose. If I've got a fun idea to do and the make of the card isn't going to be the be all and end all, I'll just use whatever I can find in my forage box, okay? Whatever I can find in the white fodder box, as long as it's the right sort of size, I will pick it. And to be honest, that sometimes gives you some really interesting effects. But what I want to show you here, it's already showing up on this one here, look, is with your Fossilised Amber, you can get these really sort of nice pinky hues that go with it. And so, like I say, you can see it coming out there as well. Where the oxidisation process, it's just really, really cool. And like I say, so this is the one that made me want Distress Oxides at Bee Crafty. So there we go, we're just going to, not going to waste any, mop it all up. Okay, now I'm just going to get my heating board. Okay, so I use, obviously I do use this for mediums at some sort of point, but this is my heating board. A brown non-stick craft sheet, and it's attached to a piece of board that I have, and I use it to heat on because that way I don't risk bending or melting my blending mats or anything like that. And the question I'm often asked is, yes, but can't you blend on it? Yes, I definitely can blend on it, but if you're using paler colours, it's not so much a problem with oxides, because obviously they're more opaque. They've got, you know, they're a higher opacity because of their mixed thing. But for example, if you were using a light colour in a distress ink, for example, say a tattered rose, or to be honest, a dried marigold, that paler orange, or even the Fossilised Amber when you've misted it, if you're wanting to mix those colours, or see, you're not going to see them clearly on that brown mat, which is why your blending mat is better. Okay, so Sam's just put the blending mats are out of stock at the minute. She was supposed to put them in this morning, you know, so when it gets to 5 o'clock today, I'll sack her, and then when we get to 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'll employ her again, and then she can put them in. And I say that as if I'm her boss, which I'm not, because we just work together. But she sacks me all the time when I do stupid stuff, so, you know, it only seems fair. All right, so what I'm going to do is now we're going to put on some picked raspberry, and I'm not going to try and go for the hefty amount of coverage, have and go. All right. Oh, she has done Thursday post office run. That's good though. Okay, so that I think is going to be plenty. That more than enough. She did nearly sack me yesterday. So yesterday, right, we're picking the orders. Sorry. For anyone catching up later on YouTube or, you know, hasn't got the thing, Sam has just said, I nearly sacked you yesterday when you stole my tea. Now, that's actually a true fact, people, because, so yesterday, we're working, and the lovely Billy brings us a cup of tea. Me and Sam, a cup of tea each, didn't have to share, lovely, right? So he brings us a cup of tea. Billy's my dad that does all the laser cutting for the MDF, the Inkables, all the different sizes of Inkables, and he also cuts the blending mats. Anyway, back to my story. So we are having, so he brings us a lovely cup of tea, bless him. What a good egg. Right. Now me and Sam have our tea exactly the same way. So it doesn't matter whose cup is whose. Or so you would think. Okay? I won't tell you word for word what she said, because I've got to be honest, it wasn't pre-watershed sort of talk she was using. It just was not, right? So, she looks, so I pick up one of the mugs. Again, doesn't really matter which, or so I thought. I pick up one of the mugs. And she turns, she looks me up and down, and let's just say tells me to put it down. And she meant it. It was like in her best authoritative voice. And whatever. And I've got to be honest, I didn't understand what she was talking about to start with. And then I noticed I was holding this very, very important mug. Oh, the language on it. The sailor would have been embarrassed. Right, so I've done 3 strips of the speckled egg, and then we're going to see how this works out for us. Okay, so I'm going to... Ooh. And I've done it in 3 strips to make sure I don't go more than 1 strip per card. Do you see what I mean? And that minimises the speckled egg per card. Oh, I know what I mean. So each one only gets sort of like a strip of speckled egg. Now, obviously what you could do, you don't have to cut your ATCs to begin with. You could do this all as 1 strip or 1 sheet and then cut them up. Okay? That's another way you can do it. But I sometimes I do it both ways, to be honest. But I think sometimes when I'm prepping for a live, I like to have the bits ready so I don't forget what I'm doing when I get here. I'm not saying it happens all the time, I'm just saying it does happen. Right, tell you what, we won't heat those dry. We will do, but just not right now. We'll put them to the side and then do a little bit of drying on their own. All right, whilst we colour in our elements. Now, like I've said, I've told you these have come from the Doodle Art stamps, but this is a piece of book page that's stamped on, and this, I don't know if you've seen any of the reels that are on the Bee Crafty Instagram and the shorts on the YouTube channel, but this is a little book that I bought that I'm doing sort of like little mini pages in, because they're fun and they're quick and they're easy, and you know, it's just great if you want to make something but you're not sure what. But it was getting thicker and thicker, and I've only done a few pages, so I've gone through and pulled out lots of the signatures so that it'll still be able to close, which has given me lots of this awesome grid paper to stamp on. So that's where I've stamped these 2 on, and I've done quite a bit of it in my fussy cut boxes. But what we're going to do today... Lucy, are you okay? What's the matter? Okay, I can't let you out right now. So we're going to put some fossilised amber on here, some picked raspberry, and we'll get some of that speckled egg as well. All right, and we're going to use these to paint effectively our fussy cut pieces. Okay, so has anybody done any crafting today? What is your current project? What are you working on? I love to know what people are working on. What's on your desk? And would you be surprised to learn Lucy is a dog? What breed is she? Dinosaur. Would you be surprised to learn that the bit of my desk you're looking at is the only bit that's available? The rest of it is about... I wouldn't say a foot deep in stuff, but you know. Could be. Alright. I'm just going to go in, add in some of my pinks first, decide where I want them to be, and then we'll go back and use our other colours. Sam's eco lines. Sam just said something about her eco lines. Oh, that's what you're working and playing with today. Right. Sorry, back in the room, back in the room. I thought, was she talking about her eco lines for? I'm not using eco lines. What a burk. Sally's is in the same state. Well, you see, Sally and I, what can I say? We're just like this when it comes to, you know, knowing what it's like of being victims of a crafter lunch. actually, I'm going to put this speckled egg in this bit here. I'm going to need some green for these leaves. I'm going to have to bring in the green. There used to be an advert on years ago that was like, bring on the trumpets, and I thought it was stupid at the time, but now it's annoying me that I can't remember what it was called. I love that speckled egg. It's like a grey. So these are going to stand out really well on that brightly coloured background. Ooh, look at that. Fantastique. Right. But yeah, I think we're going to hit it up with a bit of a green as well. Just to... Now, the book page I'm using, I'm going to be using some more as well, directly onto the ATCs. This is from a Shakespeare book. And people think this is a never-ending Shakespeare book, but it just does have a lot of pages because it's one I've been using for years. If I'm using book page, that I got from a charity shop that they were going to throw away because it wasn't complete, it was damaged, which means, you know, I wanted, no, mother, just no. I think I'm going to go around there actually with the yellow. Give that a little poppity pop. And put some yellow on the inside of there. I'm only going to add a little bit of green in a minute, don't panic. Just going to go down here. Nothing too major. Don't worry about being too precise, or you can if you want, obviously. You know, if you want to spend hours colouring it in, absolutely you should. Because the crafting is all about doing the things that make us feel good, doing the techniques we enjoy. Just going to go around the outside, this pink centre. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to go around the top of this speckled egg. And anyone that joins in now will go, that's not a speckled egg, that's definitely a flower. Yes, 'tis. You're almost correct. And then, I'll tell you what I didn't do, I didn't bring me a cup of water. Hi Sarah Lou, don't worry my darling. It's absolutely fine. Right, so I'm going to go in with a little bit more of my picked raspberry, a little bit closer to the centre, so it's just a little bit darker. You know, you just let it dry off a little bit. Not a lot, because it's been soaking in a puddle, it would appear. So it's a little bit darker. And you're always going to get that slightly hazy view when you're watercolouring with your sort of chalky look, when you're watercolouring with your oxides, because that's the oxide part of your distress oxides. If you don't want that sort of chalky look, just use your regular distress inks. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to add, I think, just something like... Oh, hello, I nearly took out a thing of bulldog clips. Just a crushed olive, nothing too harsh. And the good thing with the doodle art, again, if you haven't seen the doodle arts before, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in here with my crushed olive, because I think that's going to set off next to the fossilised amber. Lovely. But you see how it goes? It's not a really standout different colour to the colours we've been using. It's just slightly different. Okay. Let's just move that over, because we're going to bring our ATCs back in. Okay, and then we're going to lift all of these. Now as well, these are book pages, so I was talking about that sort of grey chalky hue. They're going to be like that as well because it's much thinner paper. As they dry, the colours will just reset to being a bit more vivid. I'm just going to move that. I'm not going to clean that off because we're going to be doing some flicky dots in a minute. But I need these to be dry first. And also the awesome thing about working on the book page and the grid page, okay, is that you have that underneath as well. So you have that extra something, which is great because it's something you don't have to worry about putting there. It's already there. And I think that's what I was trying to say earlier. Again, if you haven't seen the doodle art, I'm just going to dry it from the back, just for any of the water that's saturated through. The book page especially suffers from this. Is they're loosely drawn with 3 lines. I hand draw them and I draw them with 3 lines. Okay? And that's so that when you're fussy cutting or colouring, if you go over 1 line, it doesn't matter. There's another 2 there. It's very, very sort of relaxed and loose in style. And what that means is, as well, is they're great for you to add your doodles to. Now, I know... Now, trust me, I don't say the phrase, I know a lot, because generally I don't think I know much. But I know there are different stamp designers out there that don't want you editing their stamps. They don't want you adding things to them and whatever, or swapping heads over or flowers over to different bases or whatever. Absolutely not. Well, that's what we want you to do. We want these stamps to inspire your creativity and move you on. But what we've done is we've just done a lot of the borders and stuff in case you don't want to. But if you do want to, you absolutely should. All right. We're going to bring, again, you guys can go off here a second. We're going to bring these guys back in, and then these will be left to dry while we do some more to our ATCs. So I'm actually just going to add a bit more picked raspberry to here. And a bit more fossilised amber. Because what we're going to do is we're going to get a slightly bigger brush. And actually, I'm going to try this with a fan brush. I've seen this done with a fan brush, and apparently you get much better results. But that's just something I saw on a YouTube, and I honestly can't tell you who I was watching because I go down a YouTube wormhole. But if I remember, I will absolutely tag them. Okay, so we're going to get our fan brush, and we're going to flick, flick, flick. Some little picked raspberry dots all over our flowers. In fairness, they don't necessarily do better dots with your fan brush, just smaller ones. And then we'll go on with our fossilised amber. So I'm going to swap back to a slightly bigger one to get some bigger dots. I love flicky dots, they're like the best thing ever. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave that, see how it dries, and if we need to add more before we layer them up, we will. Okay, so we've just got our little dots that are hopefully drying there lovely, but like I say, I might add some bigger ones in a minute, but we'll see. Okay, back to the bases of the ATCs. Now from here I'm going to get a bit more of my book page, so let's go into the scrap box. Now Sam has a very all-inclusive sort of scrap box, okay, but mine, I have sort of this which has got all sort of offcuts and bits, and then my fussy cut stuff is all separated. So I'm not all unorganised in every aspect, just some of them. Alright, so no, I don't want... See, that has had a bee cut out of it. You can see its wing. But yeah, I just want some book page. That's got a bit of ink on it, but that's alright. Just do, tell you what, that bit and that bit. Alrighty. Then I'm going to get a brush. Already. That's But I'm going to get this one. Oh. It used to be separated, I just had to change. Okay, that's actually a little bit too much. We're going to rip that off. Because I just want a little bit. I've turned that over because I didn't like the words on the other side. That's grit paste. That's not matte medium. How long were you all going to let me go on? I'll put it there because we're going to use it again in a minute. And that's my old collage medium. Where's my new one? Oh, it was underneath something. I'd never have found it. All right. Facebook is a monkey right now. It's a monkey. It's not just for notifications. So, for example, obviously I'm filming in landscape now, and I have a specific thing that I generally film my lives on. I have a tablet that I use just for lives. And last week it wouldn't let me do anything landscape. And then this week it did again. And then today it didn't again. So, emergency run to get the other one. Okay, so we're just going to put some of this book page on here. And then this bit. Oh. I'm going to go on with this one. Yeah, so I'm just using the Distress Collage Matte Medium. Okay, so this dries perfectly clear and perfectly matte. So you won't have any of this shiny glossiness. It will be gone once it's dry. Okay, now I also want to layer up these ATCs. And I think a piece of pink is the right thing to do it on. I don't know if I have a piece of pink, but I'm just looking on my things, and I have some old pink scrapbook paper, and as I only want a small border, that might do it. Okay, I stuck that on there totally intentionally, like totally. Right. So we need some double-sided tape. To lay these up. It's layering up. It's just something I like to do. It's a habit I got in. I suppose Mum really made me start doing it. Even if I don't want a layered up colour or something like that, oh, that was silly. I nearly always, I'll even layer up in just white, even if the layer that I'm using is white to the edge. This would be better done if I'd left my matte medium to dry, but you know. I have patience, just virtue isn't one of them. No, I have virtues, just patience isn't one of them. Never mind. I'm going to put that there. Then which one of these is the driest? I'll tell you what, I'll just put it there. What is this patience you speak of? Oh, Sammy, you don't have it, babes. And I say that with all the love I can muster. I don't think any little sister would tell her big sister that she's a patient person, because let's face it, if there is anyone you've ever been the least patient with, it's probably your little sister, isn't it? You know, I don't think she's the one that's necessarily seen your most patient side. Okay, so I'm gonna just put this. So I've left double the gap. So for example, the gap I've chosen to leave around the border just by, I've done what I'm going to say is ish double. There. And then So we've got a few more people on now. Oh, hello. I just moved something with my finger. What have you guys been crafting recently? By recently, I mean this week. And if you haven't been crafting anything this week, I would like you to try and craft something soon. It's good. You'll feel so much better if you make something. A tag, an ATC, just one ATC. Obviously, I'm making 3 here. Just make one. If you're ever looking for something to kickstart your mojo, Sally runs a challenge in the Bee Crafty Stamps group every month to give you an idea. And there's an album you can look at for inspiration. This definitely I should have waited till it dried. But you know, what can you do? Sorry, off camera, I'm just trying to get it closer to me. You know. So I was daft and put double-sided tape on something that's not dry. The words of Mary Poppins are, ha ha ha, I've got it. Right, so I'm just going to snip off. Sally, I'm currently pokey toolless. I'm at that wonderful stage where all of the pokey tools I own have vanished, which means I need to buy another one before the other 6 will reappear. Okay, so then we have our ATC on to the pink. So I'm going to grab my paint trimmer. You're making 2 gingerbread house advent calendars in card and paper. Crikey O'Reilly. That sounds like real construction stuff. And in fairness, you might or might not know this about me. Construction isn't always the thing I find easiest in paper craft. Trim that so that they've all got a little border. Lovely. Jubbly. Now obviously if the evenness of your measurements is exceedingly important to you, I would advise you to do that. If it's not, I wouldn't bother. Kind of, yeah. That's kind of it, really. Alright, now from here we're going to pick an Inkable to add some texture paste on. I'm going to go to my Inkables tag sets. Inkables tag sets or Dinkables? Inkables tag sets or Dinkables? Inkables tag sets. I'm going to go with... I just sort of fertile through until one speaks to me. Oh, now you see that with the flowers. That's a maybe. And then that's got little flowers too. I think we're going to use those. Okay, so these 2, this one is from, don't tell Billy how dirty it is. This is from Inkable Tag Set 6, okay, and this one is from Inkable Tag Set 4. So I'm going to grab my opaque grit paste and a palette knife. That plasticky one actually is my favourite. I really, really like it. And then I'm going to go sort of half on and half off, I think, where the book page is. I'm going to lift that off. It gives that lovely flower pattern. So we're going to put that to the side. Magnificent. And then we're going to get this one here. I'm actually going to go for something a bit bigger on this one. Again, still over the join. We're going to go over here. I'm going to lift that off. And then, because I'm useless and I've only got 2 and I've got 3 ATCs, we're going to do a quick dash. I'm going to get, not I want a final one. have another look. Oh, I'll tell you what, let's do that one. And that's from number 5. So I think it is quite obvious to everyone, none of this was done with intention, but but the tags I have used are one from set 4, one from set 5, and one from set 6. That wasn't done just to be awkward, it's just the way things are. I'm never trying to be awkward, it's just something I seem to achieve effortlessly. Okay, we're going to do this one. I like this one because it comes out and it's sort of like lace when you lift it off. Ping! Look at that, it's so pretty. Okay. I'm going to scrape. I seem to leave quite a lot on that one, so I'm going to scrape that off. Because I want that back. You have to make a 21st birthday card. Oh, lovely. See, I was talking about... I'll scrape that off. I was talking about the Bee Crafty challenge in the Bee Crafty stamps group earlier. Louise, if you're using a Bee Crafty stamp, that could go in there because the theme for this month is celebrations. Let's celebrate, but it could be anything. I was saying on Try Out Tuesday the other night, sometimes celebrations don't have to be big, okay? They don't have to be birthdays or Christmas. They can be celebrating making it through the week. They can be celebrating that you've bought yourself a new ink pad. They can be celebrating you bought yourself a new stamp or template. You know what I mean? Celebrating, do you know what? Because I crafted today because I had the day off. I'm willing to fulfil the challenge brief quite, you know. I'm quite free and easy. That didn't come out correctly. I didn't come off too well there. But whatever. Alright, so when I was making my ATCs earlier, I'm going to move swiftly on because I feel like if I keep digging on that hole it'll get worse. I had a strip of card which I kept to the side just for this occasion because we're going to be using these small words for our ATCs. Now, when I'm doing the small words for the ATCs, I tend not to use the larger ones unless I'm cutting them down to make a series. So I'll go for things like Be Beautiful, Explore and Discover, you know, the slightly shorter ones. So I'm going to go with, first of all, Create Art. I love that one. It's such... Celebrate the fact you've got dressed. Yes, Louise, you see, now you're thinking. Celebrate the fact, you know, you've got clean jeans on today because you were wearing the others for a week. So I've made a blues project. You know, that's fine. I'm okay with it. We need to celebrate the small things. Because it is the small things that are important. Right, so I'm going to do a not Sam and Nora because I'm not Sam on Bev. But, for example, I was talking about small things that are important with my sister this morning. My husband last night did something which I considered really, really lovely. Like, just so lovely. And it's such, on the surface, an inconsequential thing. Okay? But he stopped. There's someone knocking on my front door, but they can go away. He stopped at the shop. And he knew what we were having for tea. And he knew I would like coleslaw to go with it. We don't buy like a coleslaw generally on shopping. But he bought me some and brought it home. And he doesn't eat it. But he was in the shop and he thought of me and thought, I know what we're having for tea and Bev would like coleslaw with that. And she didn't buy any. And he bought me some. And it sounds so silly. But I'm so sorry, guys. Could you just bear with me a second? They're not going away. Oh, sorry. You can see where I'm sitting, you see, from the door. So he just kept banging. Rude. It was a DPD man, and it wasn't even for me. There we go. Right. On the flip side, he thinks I'm just in here talking to myself. Bless him. Right. So we're going to look on the bright side. It's given that a little bit of a chance to firm up a little. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to cut these in the middle of each one. And I will say, it's not like I'd never sit here and talk to myself. I mean, I wouldn't say that, because I do. But not quite to this extent. You know, I don't have like a full-on conversation with myself. Yeah, I probably might do with the dog though, I suppose. That happens. So I'm just going to snip these up. But yes, sorry, going back. The small words are brilliant for ATCs, because like I say, and they've got, obviously you can chop up and use the individual words if you just wanted one word. But as daft as it sounds, something I love to use the small words on is big projects, because almost like if you're using a really big stamp and then you have to find the word, I think it sort of just leads your focus away. If it's quite a big involved card, which obviously a lot of mine can be, because I like to, you know, more is more. This can really sort of just bring it back down, which is nice. Must be a thing yours. Oh, that's nice though. If it's a thing at the minute and the fellas are going around being nice things, that's nice. Alright, so I'm going to put those little flags down now. Now what I did mean to do was add on some of the little stamps here. So like I said, I was going on about these little worker stamps, and I meant to do that before my texture paste, but it's fine. We're going to do it now. And this is one of my biggest joys with the Super Skinny Slims, is that they're clear, so you can see where you're going. Okay. And I think it's one of the reasons, I know a lot of people use stamp platforms, and if they work for you, that's brilliant. They don't for me, for a couple of reasons. One, as you can see, I like to add things in after. Small things, just, you know, put them in. And I don't know, I'm not very good with them. But my Super Skinny Slims, they're my absolute fave. I love them. I'm going to put a couple of these in the fossilised amber. And as you can see, it's not too invasive or anything like that. Fossilised amber just sort of works. It creates a real sort of tonal thing. And then tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the leaf, because on your Doodle Art butterfly you do have a spare leaf. So this leaf is attached to the flower, this leaf is a separate stamp, and that's so you can build it up, or you know, build up more foliage on here. But I didn't do it attached on purpose. I know I make jokes about stuff that works out and it's going, look, it's almost like I did it on purpose, but that I actually did do on purpose. All right. So that you can build up different layers. Onions have layers. Okay. And then we're going to come back in with these, and my dots have sort of dried in. So I'm just going to add a few more. Let's get, see, my ones on the board have dried lovely. I'm just going to pick up some colour. I'm going to pick up all the colour. Alright, and then we're going to stick these on. Now I'll put the words on last, okay, because you can almost tuck them under, tuck them around, however you want them to be. Alright, so I'm going to put this one see, I think that's actually going to have to go here, otherwise I'm going to lose all that texture paste. This one, I'm thinking here. You know, you can move them. I'm using Collage Matte Medium again, so you can sort of, and then this one right here, coming off there. All right, and then we'll go with, but the thing is, well, I do think sometimes it's important not to overthink it. You know, just get it on. Get it finished. So you can make something else. Wild and free. I'm actually going to tuck those ones under there this time. And then create art is going to go on there. I'll put my lid down. Okay. And then I'm going to go to, where are they? In my Secure Microns, I am absolutely sure I have a pink. Which I do, it's a number 5 pink, and it's from one of the Secure Pigment Micron sets. I won't tell you which one it is, because I don't know. Alright? And I'm just going to come to the side here, and again, because I'm not a patient human, you could wait till this dries. But like I said, I like to get it finished. Get it finished. And then you're ready to make something else. And I'm never going to think about doing this before. And this, for me, is just another example of finishing the card. It's like the pink layer that comes behind. It just finishes it. One there, and last one. From the Doodle art are not really the main focus of the stamp set they came off. They are, you know, they're not the namesake of the stamp set. These are the ones you get with it. Okay. So those are 3 ATCs. So you can see, if you have no idea what to make, you want to make something, but you don't know what, okay? And bear in mind, I'm not saying you have to make 3, like I said, make 1. Okay? Have a play, make something different. Have you ever made an ATC before? No, then have a go at one. But what I want you to try and do is don't overthink it. just go. And if you go, oh, I think I might do this, just do it. Oh, I think I might do this, just do it. Okay? Because you're holding yourself back. And bear in mind, when I'm saying this, I do it to myself all the time. Do you know why I don't hold myself back right now? Because you're here and I have to get the thing finished. But if you can, or you even record yourself doing it. Like, set a camera up and record it and say you have to do it start to finish. And honestly, it's brilliant. Have a go. All right then, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I don't know if there's anyone on later today, but we have had 2 other lives on the Bee Crafty Facebook page this week, if you would like to go and have a look. I can't lie. So if you can only watch one, watch Sally's. It was a hoot and a half. I did a double journal layout. Sally was working in her black one. But Sammy's also doing a Chit Chat Friday on the Bee Crafty Facebook page on a Friday afternoon. And we would love to see you there if you'd like to join. All right then, guys. Thank you so much for staying with me when I had to dash off. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Bye.